Hey everybody, my name is Brendan aka Mr. Weaverface and this is Gamer Thoughts. Today's topic is finding time for video gaming and collecting. Doesn't it always seem that there's not enough time in a day to play your video games? I mean, where does the day go? How the heck does that happen? And why am I 38 already? Just like you watching this video, I only get 24 hours in a day. A lot of those hours I use for sleep. Owning my own business, I have to use a lot of those hours at work. And if you have a girlfriend or a boyfriend or a spouse and or kids, I mean, good luck finding time to brush your teeth, let alone finding time to play video games. Just kidding. But not really. I mean, finding time to play video games and time to search for games for your collection seems impossible just because life just happens. I'm married and my wife isn't into video games like I am, but when she was younger she did own a Sega Master System and an Atari 2600, and she has told me countless times that she remembers playing those systems as a kid. But nowadays she has different hobbies and we really don't play video games together at all. So for entertainment, we usually play card games and board games as well as watch our favorite TV shows and movies together. But if I try to get her into do a little bit of gaming, it'll be something simple like Sports Champions for the PlayStation 3 or something like Mario Party on the Nintendo 64, which is a lot of fun. I also have two young daughters, a 5-year-old and a 2-year-old. Now the 2-year-old, I think she's going to get into video gaming when she gets older because every time that I'm playing a video game, she actually picks up a different controller and pretends like she's playing along. Now the 5-year-old, she has already expressed an interest in playing video games, and the first game that she played on a console was Kaboom for the Atari 2600, which is an awesome game, by the way. The game that she usually asks for is Aladdin on the Super Nintendo. Now I don't know if it's because it's a Disney game or because it's Aladdin, but she likes playing it, but she does get frustrated very easy after playing it only for a couple minutes because, you know, as a kid you had to learn how to play video games. My 5-year-old does have a portable gaming system. It's called the MobiGo, and it's pretty much games on there with the learning aspect to things, and she does really good with that. But as she's getting older, she is growing out of that, and now the 2-year-old is starting to take over the reins and starting to play the MobiGo more. For Christmas this year, my 5-year-old asked Santa for an Android tablet. And I know Santa pretty good, so there's a high possibility she's going to get it just because she was such a good girl this year. But I'm not a big fan of the whole finger orchestra and playing video games. But it just seems that smartphones and tablets are the way that kids are getting into video gaming nowadays. Eventually, I would like to see her do some gaming on a console system, but honestly, video gaming has evolved so much since I was a kid. Maybe when she gets older and her hands get bigger, she'll be able to grasp a controller better, and her hand-eye coordination will improve as well. But I really shouldn't hold my breath. As a father, I should just let her have at it and discover her own way of gaming and her own interest in video games, just like I did when I was a kid. But as much as I want video games to be a family affair, it's just not going to happen right now. And I don't mind because when the kids get into bed and my wife's watching TV, that finally gives me the time to get that decompressing moment with that controller in hand and finally get to play some video games. Finding that personal time for video games is important. Now, maybe you do have a lot of free time for gaming and collecting, and that is awesome. I wish I had that, but I don't. It just seems that there's someone's birthday party every weekend, and with me volunteering at church every Sunday, finding time to play video games even on the weekends is difficult for me. If I do any video gaming, it's usually at night. Typically, I'm giving up sleep hours just to put in some time on Skyrim or retro video games, which is probably what you guys are doing as well. For collecting video games, I use whatever spare moments that I have to search for video games on my phone. Typically, I use eBay. I also use a Craigslist app, which works out very well for me. I also scour the yard sale sites on Facebook that I belong to, as well as use yard sale apps like Garage Sale. So to actively go out and physically search for video games, I usually do that on an early Saturday morning, hitting up the yard sales and flea markets, or setting up a Craigslist transaction at that time. The question I keep asking myself is this: after sleep time, family time, and work time, do I want to use my free time to acquire video games or play them? I usually don't have time for both. To choose between game time and collecting time, it really comes down to what mood I'm in. I mean, if I'm really involved with the video game that I like, my collecting time pretty much goes down to almost nothing. But if I start finding some deals and feel like I'm saving some money, I usually get on a collecting streak, but then my game time is limited. I keep telling myself that as my kids get older and get more independent, I'll finally have a good chunk of time to play some video games. But my kids are important, and as they get older, they're probably going to get more involved in sports and activities, and I'll have to shuttle them around to those activities, and I'll be proud to watch them participate in those activities as well. So I just got to make the best of the time that I have right now with family, with work time, with sleep time, and with playing video games. In conclusion, I really don't have any pearls of wisdom on how to generate extra time in a day. Like, I don't have a time machine, I can't really help you out with that. But my advice would be to set aside that personal time that I talked about earlier on playing video games. Either set some time aside every day or sometime during the week so that you can do video gaming if that's important to you. Also, if you're a person that's very, very busy with a lot of things, hobbies, activities, sports, volunteering, you gotta sit down and decide what's important to you and set that time aside for what you want to do in your life. Video gaming is important to me, and I'll be doing that until I'm physically no longer able to. I'd like to hear how you manage your free time or how you find free time, and if you use that free time for collecting video games or playing them. You can leave those comments in the comments section below. As always, please subscribe to the channel so that you can stay in the loop of new Mr. Weaverface videos. As always, the word of mouth referrals are very important, so please keep it up with liking the videos, leaving comments, and sharing them with everyone that you know. Again, thank you very much for watching this video. I'm Mr. Weaverface. Take care.
Seems it will not last, 'cause working hard is slowing me down to find it.